Friday AM. It's Saturday, Sunday. What? We're touring the event space today.
Oh, yes, we are. I'm excited. I'm still looking at outfits.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like evaluating. We're like 2 months out, but I'm evaluating.
I'm probably going to spend a good amount of money on an
I
outfit.
might. It's worth it.
Or we could do like rent the runway dress.
Yes.
I don't know. Like we could do some things. I was telling my girlfriend for her 40th birthday. Okay, so I understand that we need to budget, but I also understand for special events, you want to feel confident AF.
I want to feel so good.
Right? So I was like, Ash, like spend the 300 or 500 or whatever it is. And I was like, I will give you some money to help you for your birthday gift, like put towards this. Because the dresses she was showing me, they're gorgeous. They're doing a disco theme party. And I was like, oh, I already have my dress. It's my pink sparkly one. And she's like, that's perfect. But I was like, if you're looking at $150 to like $300, just spend the money on the one that's nicer that you really, really like, especially if it fits you, because as we age, like the tailoring of things definitely matters.
1,000%.
As we're both wearing a shirt from Target that it's so funny. It's literally the same.
It's the exact same shirt.
Exact same shirt. Only mine is blue and white and hers is just white.
Yes.
And
I actually just got an outfit that I'm really hoping works out for date night this weekend. And I keep replaying the line. I don't know if you heard it in the Layla Hormozy podcast where she was talking about the masculine versus feminine. She's like, and sometimes when I go out with my husband for a date night, I dress like a hoe because I like it and I like how I feel. And I was like, yes. That's
I love it.
Oh, that's how I feel though. It is. Sometimes I like dressing. I don't know if I would say like a hoe, but like
sexy.
You're dressing a little revealing. Man, I got a tummy tuck. I'm going to show it off.
You feel confident. You've worked hard. Like, why not? I mean, there are so many people that are super confident in things that I personally would never wear.
Just go to Vegas. You will see all of them.
Or the swimming pool.
Oh God, yeah. We were at the swimming pool on Sunday and I was like, okay. I get self-conscious sometimes in a bathing suit, but all right. Maybe I need to lower my standards for myself.
No, I mean, there's health at every size is not a movement that I personally get behind.
I do not believe it's a real move. It's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
Healthy at every size.
No, as you're also sitting at the snack bar eating mozzarella sticks, which are delicious, and a big pretzel and cheese and all those things.
We went to the pool on Sunday, and apparently a Sunday fun day is like a thing at our country club. We just joined. And it was 95 degrees on Sunday. And so it was packed. Dude, they were walking around with platters of shots. Like the general manager was like just giving away shots. And I was like, if someone would watch my 6 and 3-year-old and I didn't have to work tomorrow, maybe, but probably still not because I do not do shots. But it was like people were getting after it. There was lots of drinks flowing. And I just had Taylor is 3 and she was scared the first time she went off the diving board, but then became obsessed with it and proceeded to spend the next 2 hours just going off and off and off. And she like can swim, but not really. And it's obviously a deep end there. And so Nick and I just had to sit underneath the diving board and like be there in case she got frantic and panicked and we would need to like pull her to the edge. So it was not very relaxing.
You mean you're not the parents like at the water park by us where they just wait for the lifeguards to go in?
Oh my God.
It is appalling to me. Like how many kids are just there like it looks like they're by themselves, you know? And it's just, I got very frustrated with Marcus because I took him just by myself last week and he's like, let's go in the lazy river. And then there's like a tube slide that you go down and then like comes into the lazy river. So I was like, okay, cool. And then he decides like, I'm done and turns around and like goes and gets out. And I was like, I'm all the way over here. I can't just like come back. I'm like, so wait for me, you know? So I'm getting up and then I'm like going around and I'm like, you little shit. Or, you know what I mean? Like you're just getting like more and more. It just in public places, because I tell him all the time, you can get snatched real fast. And then, you know, I wouldn't know, like I need to have eyes on you. And so to his defense, he was waiting at the other like entrance for me, which was good. But also, it's just one of those things your heart sinks for a few minutes, even though they would call over the speaker and all these types of things. Like I don't know. It just stresses me out.
Stressful.
They are very stressful, especially ones who think that they're bigger than they are. Like Marcus definitely has I'm 6 going on 16 mentality.
So does Taylor. Carson's pretty responsible, I will say, for the most part. He still talks back to me sometimes. He goes through like little bursts where he thinks that he can talk back to me and he's like, Mom, you're wrong. I'm like, I am not wrong. And he's arguing like a fact that is a very clear fact that he thinks is wrong. And you know, like the earth, I shouldn't say that one because that's not a lot of people feel differently about that.
I know what you're going to say.
But
This morning I heard Marcus talking to his little iPad, or maybe it was last night, and he was asking all these things about the Titanic. He was like, what is the date the Titanic sunk? What is the date the Titanic was built? How many people were on the Titanic? It's like, oh my gosh, this kid's literally doing. And he loves Celine Dion randomly in the car. I'd be like, Mom, can we listen to the Titanic song? And like, it's the Celine Dion song that he wants. I'm like, okay.
Carson asked me if I knew who Lady Gaga was this morning. And I was like, yeah, Carson, she's like one of the most famous musicians in the world. And he goes, you know how I heard about her? And I was like, what? He goes, I saw her on my kid's YouTube channel. And I was like, okay, Carson. Just like, oh, and then he continues to ask me questions. He goes, Mom, who's the most famous music person in the world? And I was like, that's a really hard question to answer. And I was like, I mean, of all time, I was like, Michael Jackson's probably up there, Elvis.
All right, if you're dealing with water retention, you're waking up puffy, your ankles or your wrists are really swollen, or you can't get your rings off, and maybe you're even dragging throughout the day, no matter how much water you drink, there's actually a good chance that you're not actually hydrating properly.
Exactly, because water alone is not enough. You need electrolytes, you need sodium, potassium, magnesium, because those things actually pull water into your cells. Otherwise, you're basically just flushing it out and wondering why you're still tired, you're still bloated, and you're still sluggish.
But here's the thing, most electrolyte supplements out there aren't helping you in any way because a lot of them contain things like natural flavors, food dyes, and maltodextrin, which can irritate your gut. And these things can also spike your blood sugar when you're trying to heal.
That's why we both started using Buoy. It's super simple, just trace minerals and electrolytes in liquid form. No flavors, no colors, no sugar, no sweeteners, and you squeeze it into whatever you are drinking. Water, coffee, tea, smoothies, you name it.
And it's clinically backed by science too. So studies have shown that Buoy helps you hydrate better, 64% better in fact. And that's data coming from key blood and urinary markers, not just marketing fluff. And honestly, you can feel the difference. I've had many clients tell me their digestion's improved, they have less headaches, and they're better energy throughout the day.
And Buoy isn't just for people that go to the gym all the time and sweat a bunch. They actually offer a 35% lifetime discount for anyone that's struggling with chronic illnesses. Things like POTS, Hashimoto's, Crohn's disease, chronic migraines, and every autoimmune condition. They're really committed to making better hydration accessible to people who need it most.
I actually throw it in my coffee every morning because it's such an easy upgrade. You don't even taste it, but you're definitely going to notice if you miss it.
If you're tired of playing hydration roulette and want something that actually supports your body, you've got to try Buoy. It's honestly one of the simplest ways to feel better faster. The Beatles, Lady Gaga's probably up there. I was like, I'm going to just go down a rabbit hole right now trying to argue with my 7-year-old. I don't know, Carson. I don't know. But yeah, they just think of the craziest things. And then Taylor just has to be talking. And so she'll just be like, Mom, can I, what? Mom. And I'm like, are you going to say something? And it's just like keeps words, but no actual sentence. Just like she just has this urge to constantly be speaking. So car rides are not lacking stress in my realm.
Yeah. So what do you do, when you're stressed out and you've had this car ride? Those are the things we want to talk about today because there's a lot of things that we both do in our day, throughout our day to handle all of the stressors that we have. Because we talk a lot about stress on this podcast. We are not throwing, rocks at a glass house. Like I say that all the time. There's a lot in my life that I can definitely, continue to improve upon. And so I'm more aware of it. And these are a few of the things that I do and Becca does. And hopefully they help you because a lot of these things, people might think, well, that's woo-woo. There's no point in that. Like, what's breath work really going to do for me? A few big deep breaths, like expanding your chest, one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, getting that full big breath to me has really helped. I've put this in more since having Ethan for sure, because morning times, as we've talked about, they're just chaotic. Or there's just a lot more moments where I'm like, oh my God, my child's going to die because my 6-year-old is probably going, or drop him or just whatever, those kind of like knee-jerk reactions and you feel your nervous system. And I've also had, to be honest, like really strange random thoughts of like car accidents.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, negative, like I call them the ants, right? Those automatic negative thoughts that are scary or they're not helpful. And so just praying through things, and then also doing a lot of deep breathing and shifting. So shifting the focus, shifting the thought onto something else, and then setting some boundaries. So just one of the things that I would say that really, really helps me is that breath work. And it's a few different times throughout the day. I love walking outside. We've talked a lot about that. We're going for a walk after this. And that can really help. But being intentional in those moments where you are going to lose your shit. And it's not that you will never lose your shit. I still lose my shit. Like, it happens frequently. It's happening less, I feel like, since being on progesterone. I think that's helped. And then also just recognizing that whatever, things are messy, it's going to be messy. I can't control it all. There's no point. But at the end of the day, that breath work has really kind of helped brought me back to center and then move forward instead of staying stuck in that like tension state.
Yeah. I've tried to make sure I ask nicely 3 times before I scream. That's usually like my rule, because then I can justify why I screamed with, I asked you kindly 3 times to put your shoes in the laundry room and you didn't. And so then I screamed. And here Carson usually comes back to me with, Mom, chill, brah. Okay. Bet I go do this. And I'm like, I don't know what you're saying right now. Just go put your shoes in the laundry room, please. Like, stop watching YouTube videos of NFL football players. Like, I can't. So yes, that is my rule for myself. And for me, something that's really helped me is every morning I reevaluate my to-do list and I prioritize and I time block. Because when I have like I think entrepreneurs struggle with this more than anyone, because you don't have someone keeping that like list of things that need to be accomplished for you. Like, you aren't getting told by a boss, this is what needs to happen, this is what to prioritize. You kind of have to do that yourself. And so I get distracted very easily sometimes. And so every morning I'm like, okay, what are my main things I have to get done today? What are my would be great if I accomplished today? And then what can probably wait until the end of the week? And I'm not even going to put the pressure on myself to worry about it right now, because it's maybe a bigger project that needs me to sit down for longer, or those things have helped a lot, because I used to just have this like 15 to 20 thing list that I expected I would be able to accomplish every day. And every day I wouldn't. And then I'd feel like a failure. And then I'd be stressed out at night because I couldn't get it done. And then I'd be thinking about it. And I'd be like half with my kids, half not. I'd be working on the couch while Nick is eating. And it's just like, it was so stressful. And it was all because of me. Like, I was creating the problem. And now I have expanded the amount of time I think something's going to take, because it usually takes longer than what I think is going to happen. And I try to allot for time during my day for fires to happen. Like, because it's just going to happen. Like, I'm going to get messages. There's going to be problems. That's something that I love. Hormozy always says is like, as entrepreneurs, you're basically taking on the hardest problems that no one wants to or knows how to solve. They just come to you. And then it's, okay, now I have to manage this. And so for me, the time blocking has been really helpful, and putting less on my absolutely have to get done today list has helped as well, because then I just don't feel as much like a failure at the end of the day. And then I'm not as stressed about it, and I'm in a better mind space. So that's been something I would say, time blocking and prioritizing every day at the beginning of the day, and sometimes changing it midday. Like, okay, this happened, this had to happen. And now what am I going to change so that I'm not so stressed? What has to get done? Because I'll just get lost in my day.
Yeah. I do the same thing, but I put like, then at what needs to get done today, what's top priority or might take me the longest. And I try to do that first, because a lot of these other like little tasky things or adminning things, or like even if it's me getting back to one of our practitioners on something, that can be lower on the totem pole. I can do a voice memo while I'm driving, to get the kids or whatever, or while I'm walking. Just trying to really think about what's the utmost important and doing that thing first. Because I think a lot of people won't put it in that list, and that at the end of the day, it's like, dang, I left this big thing that actually has to get done at the end, because I felt good about check, but this is the one that's really important. So I think prioritizing that too. And then, in terms of, fires that will happen, or if you're running a team, like something comes up and, you've got to react, you've got to respond. That's the big part of being a business owner and entrepreneur. And then, if you are on social media, like allotting time to answer questions there, or, check your messages and things like that. Yesterday, for sure, I was like, I'm drowning. I need to just put my phone away and not look at this, because that's not my priority. My priority is my clients, my team, right? And then all that extra fluff and stuff from social media that people ask things for free, which, by the way, like, we are more than happy in our inboxes to have a conversation. Please don't message me your labs. Please don't message me this entire protocol with a novel. I have clients that I have to focus on that pay us for this type of stuff, right? And it's really inconsiderate in terms of practitioners giving out like recommendations to people who they're not working with, because there's legalities around that too. Like I've had to tell a few people recently, I cannot legally advise you on this. You are not my client. I don't know your health history. You should not be sending labs through a social media channel. So just a little word to the wise there. If you're doing that to people, I would advise you not to do that. Not that people can't get your information any way that they want anymore, but I don't think that that's something that people should be doing. And if somebody asks you to do that, that's a huge red flag. And so just wanted to throw that out there as a random note. But yes, time blocking, it's huge. And I think this is also really important to put in space for you. Like I have a block tomorrow that's a half hour. That's literally just me to go outside and go for a walk before I come back and I'm into back-to-back calls. And that to me reminds me I'm a priority in the midst of all of this, where I am serving, because Wednesdays and Thursdays are insane. We're serving people, we're on mentor calls, we're mentoring other people, right? And I need that time. I need that mental break and reset. So put it on your calendar to deep breathe, to go for a walk, to get a drink of water, to sit down and eat your lunch or whatever it is. Another thing that I've been trying to do more so lately too is just connect with people.
If you wake up feeling puffy in the morning, your ankles or wrists feel swollen, your rings feel really tight, or that awful puffy face feeling, typically it's a sign that you need electrolytes. And a lot of people actually even get bloated from drinking water because that's not proper hydration. Electrolytes are needed to actually pull the water into the cells in the body. And believe it or not, when you get more hydrated, you look thinner, you look leaner, because water isn't extracellular making you all puffy, it's intracellular hydrating you. And that's why we love Buoy. I squirt it in my water all day long because it's simple, it's effective, and it doesn't have all of the junk that a lot of the powders have. So this is my choice.
In person for coffee, or if it's just over a text, it's sending a little like gift card to a friend I haven't seen or heard of from a long time, sending a message of gratitude to somebody, sending a message of good job. Hey, I'm proud of you. Hey, I noticed this week, giving a compliment to somebody on our team. That I think really helps because it also gives you that feel good endorphin just as much as it gives them that good endorphin. So like if you're out and about, let's say at a coffee shop, right? If you like something that somebody's wearing, tell them. That's so fun. And sometimes you strike up a conversation. I had that happen this past week when we were at Vacation Bible School. There was a mom and I said something to her. I was like, oh, I really like this or whatever. And then randomly she's like, oh, I actually was going to talk to you because I liked this. Or I wanted to tell you Marcus is in my Sunday school class on Sunday mornings and yada, yada. And so then we exchanged phone numbers and we're like, okay, maybe let's get our kids together for a play date. And so you never know just by doing those things what might come from that connection that you're making with other people. So I think that's one that can be really good. It doesn't take long at all, right? Like a simple text takes 10 seconds to write it out, or a note. You could write a note and send it in the mail. There's a lot of things that you could do there. And with that, I think that goes hand in hand into something that we've probably both talked about a little bit more is like getting into community, right? And getting yourself surrounded by people that have the same values as you, that are maybe in the same season of life as you. I think community can look very different for people. My community growing up, I imagined that it would just be the same throughout life. And it's not, to be transparent, right? Like I had this really strong group of friends and we still talk here and there, but maybe it's like once or twice a year. It's nothing that like we thought we're going to be besties forever. And so now it's looking at my community in the season of life with kids. Part of that is my church community, getting into the women's group that I joined. I think that is really, really important because you need something, I think, you need something away from your job and away from like your day to day. If you're working from home, right? And you're not seeing other people, it's nice to get out. And sometimes I won't lie, like it does feel like another to-do, having to plan, like I told my husband already in the fall, Wednesdays are not going to be soccer nights. Like you're going to have to change him on teams. Wednesday is my night. So figure it out with the sports because honestly, sports starts to take over.
Oh gosh.
And it's just, I'm being selfish. Like that's going to be my night that I'm going to go to women's group. And if he would like to come with me on that night, awesome. But if he doesn't, right, then it creates more of an issue with both kids being with him and he can handle it, but I would just rather not. And so I think also asking for that help so you can get out into your community would be important.
Yeah. I ask for help way more than I used to. And it's I used to feel really, really guilty, like I can't handle things or, I'm putting so much on other people. But at the end of the day, there's no way you get through this life without it, like in a good way. And people typically are more than fine with helping, especially your husband or, people that are really close to you, your grandmas and grandpas, the in-laws, the people that maybe help watch your kids or things like that. I have tried to be more open about asking for the help when I need it because I know I'm a better mom. I know I'm a better person when I have that. And then honestly, even if they aren't local, I reach out to Liz all the time.
Mm.
I don't see her but once a week and we are still in contact every single day. And we have obviously a very special relationship. Not everyone can have, unfortunately, sometimes a friend as close as maybe Liz and I are, but I wouldn't be able to get through many of my days unless I had that soundboard, that person to vent. And honestly, sometimes it's literally just venting. Liz and I will be like, you don't have to respond to this. I just needed to talk about it. Like, I just needed to say it to someone because I needed to get it out of my mind. And that is sometimes all you need is that person. And I really hope that everyone out there has that person. And you know what I mean. You probably know who it is. And the last thing I'll say about that piece, they should be in the majority of the time lifting you up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do not have the person that is just toxic. Like Liz and I vent, we complain about things. We do that too. But at the end of the day, we also are typically on the back end of that being like, it's okay. You've got this. Like, you'll get through this day. It's not a huge deal, whatever it might be. I actually heard, I can't remember his name, he has like About Last Weekend podcast. He's like super famous podcast. But there was a clip I saw and he's like, do you ever had days where like, you're just not on the same page with the day. Like, you're not on the calendar with it. It's just, you are completely different in terms of what the day is and what it is about. And like, we all have those days where it is just, what is going on? Where am I going crazy? Is everyone else in the world going crazy? And those are the days that wear you down when you don't have that person or that release or whatever it might be. And sometimes it means I have a second or third coffee. And maybe that happens a couple times a week. And that's why I buy the decaf cold brew, because then I feel less bad about it and I can still sleep at night. Coffee doesn't affect me anymore. It's just an enjoyment that I do.
Yeah.
But like having those things that aren't total binges, like me having an extra coffee isn't going to cost me 500 calories or 1,000 calories, right? It's not going to make me super bloated or I don't do things that make me feel sick. I've given that up. But having those little treats, like, oh, I'm going to time my snack or my meal at this time because it's something that I enjoy and I can relax. Like, planning those into your day and having that person that is there for you no matter what, I think are also huge pieces of getting through this life and ending up in a good spot. Because I wouldn't be able to survive a lot of the days that we endure without it. I just wouldn't.
Yeah. And it's having an outlet essentially, right? And so for some people that outlet might be journaling, it might be praying, it might be meditation, it might be singing, all of that is fantastic too, but getting it out of you in some way is important. So maybe you're not the person that wants to talk about things, then I would really encourage you to find ways to release it. Because if you don't, it's going to stay with you and then it's going to build up. And then all of a sudden people around you are going to be like, what is going on? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you acting this way? Or why are you so snappy? Why are you so bitchy? It's like, well, I've had this really challenging. I have all this stuff on my mind. Like, I will even tell my husband sometimes, like, I have 3 protocols to write. And he just doesn't even ask anymore because he just knows that means I need time at the computer uninterrupted, because if I don't get this down now, even though I have all these notes and things and I could do it tomorrow, but if it backs up into my day too much or my week too much, like, to be honest, I'm already a little nervous about tomorrow because I have 3 protocols after
accumulating.
Well, I have them there because I want to chat with one of our mentors about a few things before I finalize them. But it's already bothering me that it is going into, the second and third business. And my clients are like totally cool with it. They know it's coming. It's not I'm missing a deadline here. It's just me, my crazy, that I just like to go to bed with a clean slate so that I can wake up the next morning. Because again, like I've said twice this week, my to-do list just keeps growing. And then you feel like you can't keep up. And then your nervous system, and then you're not present in the way you want to be present. And so I think going back to, whatever it is that you need to do to stay sane and mentally sharp, those are the things that you want to look at and time block for. And of course, there can be a lot of things in your day that are going to interrupt things, and you have to just think pivot. You have to remind yourself, in 5 years from now, if this isn't going to matter, don't give it more than 5 minutes of energy, because we've had those situations. And I will tell you that as business owners, as things get bigger and bigger on our side, in terms of how we continue to grow our team, there are more fires. There are more things that, thankfully we have assistants that can help us and they put out a lot of things, but that when we're handling something like Alex Hormozi says, we are the CEOs and we are the ones that get the dumpster fire decisions that nobody else wants to make. They don't want to handle them, right? And so we have to make those decisions. We have to do that. And the only way that I can handle those situations without flying off the handle or like really letting it get to me is by staying in my power. And that's one thing that I always think about is I want to be in control of my emotions. I want to be mentally sharp. And so that does require other things to be on point in terms of, if it's my food, if it's my water, it's my hydration, it's my sleep, it's not Sunday funding, even though everybody else around you is Sunday funding, right? Like that was our house on Sunday. Like our friends were over and then our neighbors ended up coming over. Everybody's having drinks. And I'm like, I just want to get you guys out of my house because I need to do other things to prepare for the week. As much as I love you, my curfew is 6 p.m. on Sunday. You guys have stayed past 6 p.m. And so it's one of those things where you have to know what you need and then set those boundaries and commit to it. Because that's really the only way that you're going to stay in control in this chaos, because everything, like you said, it is total chaos. And there's different times of the day that are total chaos. And so like if Becca doesn't get back to me, I know her mornings are chaos and she knows my mornings are chaos in between that drop off time. And so just find your person that you need, but also be on your own side and implement some of these things. They can go a long way. And don't forget to find joy in your day as well amongst the chaos.